Let's go.
So, if you want to create some music by using FL Studio, this would be, I think, not a tutorial, but this would be a follow my steps, pause the video tutorial, and let's make Synthwave, as my friend requested. So first of all, if any project is open, close it, like with the crosses or pressing escape key. And let's go to the file, open new from template, minimal, and select empty. Press no here. And that's it. We have the blank space. So the first things to know, everything works like in all programs. Yeah, we have all this menu, space. This is important hint panel. So if you hover on any of the buttons or on the objects in the plugins, whatever, you will see what's the name of it. So let's go. Let's start with building a simple synthwave track. I'm just gonna show you what you need to do step by step to do it. And I'm not gonna go much into detail. And later on, I'm going to create maybe more tutorials about it. So let's go. Synthwave. Here we have a playback, stop, record, and speed. This is a pattern mode and this is a song mode. So we need now we need to change the speed to 102. I like the 102 for my synthwave track. And we go to the menu on the right here. Here are all the buttons for the menus. So the first main menu where the song will be is the playlist. We click playlist. And now we click on this third, which is channel rack. Channel rack contains all sounds or samples we are using here in complete project. And it works like this. So if the pattern 1, so we can have unlimited amount of patterns. So we select pattern 1, and this is our sampler, or we can put any sound in here. So what I'm going to do now, there are two ways how to put the sound. First is the dragging and dropping the sound, which is on a sample, for example, or selecting a plugin. We're gonna select plugin a little bit later. For now, let's go and find the kick for our track. So the kick would be in packs, kicks, and let's take FPC 5 kick. Let's drag and drop it on the sampler or behind it or above it, whatever you feel right. So I drag it above it. So here you can select whatever you want by left clicking and pulling. If you right click and pull, then it's gonna delete. So you want to select any rhythm you want, but I want particularly double tap. And I'm going to add this to my playlist. And as I hover onto my playlist, there is a draw tool. I'm just going to click and draw this line. 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences, I think. So that's it. And this is our pattern number 1 with the kick. And if I select on the song, kick is done. So next we're gonna go and do the snare. Snares, I like the 909 snare. It is perfect for this track. Specifically for me, I say. So this is again a matter of choice where you create the snare. You can create it in this particular pattern 1. So then this pattern will have kick and the snare included. So it doesn't matter if I play it from the pattern or from the song. I like to work when my sounds are separated. So I will remove the snare from the pattern 1, and I'm going to create my new pattern with this plus key. I'm going to write snare in Russian. Okay, snare. There you go. There's a snare. And you see this snare pattern is empty now. It means that the kick is one before. which is a pattern 1. Also, it's really cool to rename your patterns. So you just maybe rename this as a kick, this is a snare, and you never miss. So the snare one, and we're gonna also draw it, but it's empty because I haven't added anything yet. You can double click, either you want to select the channel rack view, or you can double click on the snare or on the kick. It opens a playlist, but sometimes it opens also a channel rack. So let's open the channel rack and move to the snare and select each second kick of the snare. So now we have snare and the kick separated. You can listen to only one. Only kick here. So now we are going to make the first effect, and what I'm going to teach now as well is that there's a mixer. Mixer usually, it's always for assigning sounds to each of the tracks and giving them effects and make them sound better. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to assign both of them. I'm going to go to the channel rack, and here is the where I can identify if it's already like channeled to one of those tracks, but I'm going to just do it again. I'm going to right click on this particular, no, right clicking is wrong. So I'm going to select this sound with the left key, then I see the waveform appeared of it, and I can select plugin options and route to free mixer track. I can do this absolutely with all plugins. So I just created it on the first one. I'm going to do the same for the second, but a little bit different method. I'm going to select it first, then hover on the insert I like, right click, file, channel routing, route selected channels to the track. And as I clicked it, so this is to 1, this is to 2, and they're instantly also renamed. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to level them because snare is too loud and the kick is kicking quite hard. So we're gonna make it a little bit more silent. So let's pull the volume now, fader here. Something like that, so it sounds a little bit better. So now on the snare, I'm going to add an effect of reverb. So I can choose any slot I like. I'm just gonna go and click on this selector and find delay or reverb, fruity reverb 2. And what reverb does, it leaves the sound. I'm just going to make sure that the default preset has been set. So this is it. And now we're gonna listen. Perfect for our track. So now let's move to the step 3, bassline. I'm going to do the same thing again, plus bassline. And on this channel rack, now we have 2 sounds. I'm going to create another sound with the plus key, or I can right click, insert, and I would do the GMS. GMS plugin is an amazing plugin for basslines, not only of course, but I use it mostly for the basslines. And I like to move it down, holding shift key and using my mouse wheel I can change the position of it. So I'm going to assign also a like this mixer track for that with the not right click, with this one and route to free mixer track. Bam, it's there. And I'm going to pull also down because I don't know how loud it is. I don't want to harm my ears. So now I'm going to find the melody, find the sound first. So I can play with my keyboard. Actually, I can press like this on my keyboard and bam, it's done. I'm going to choose the next after aggressive TE. This is the program. You can select it with the right click. You can see all the sounds it gives you. We're going to go with the bass and the analog bass 1 TE, which is the second or the next after the first one. So, and I'm going to do now I'm going to, and this is how it sounds. I'm going to create a melody now. So now it's where the piano roll is coming in. We're gonna right click piano roll to open it, or you could simply have it selected and then hover onto piano roll and have it open for that. So I'm going to